What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. So, after LeBron James scored 40,000 points against the Denver Nuggets in a loss, the reporters were asking him what would he tell a young LeBron James, you know, after everything he's been through, a young 18-year-old LeBron, what would he say? And I think he said something along the lines of something like nothing. Basically, he had a lot on his shoulders coming into the league, a lot of responsibility. I'm paraphrasing, but like carrying a franchise at 18 years old. And he said something along the lines of like everybody wanted to see him fail. LeBron said everybody wanted to see him fail when he was coming into the league. Now, do I think that's true? I think everybody is a stretch and it's an exaggeration because there were a lot of people who were rooting for LeBron James, right? There was. There were people he had a lot of fanfare, a ton of it. A lot of former professional players that thought he was really, really great. A lot of analysts who thought he was really great, right? But there were a nice amount of people who were hating on him, including his own Cleveland Cavaliers teammates, his future teammates. I remember them talking to Darius Miles, Carlos Boozer, and all of them. Darius Miles, like, ain't no 18-year-old gonna be able to come in and carry no franchise. Ain't no 18-year-old gonna come in and be able to do what he doing in high school, right? Carlos Boozer, like, we already got players on our roster better than him already, you know? And Darius Miles and them talking about he can come in and get on our bandwagon. You know, it was a lot of them dudes. Ricky Davis and them was hating. They were saying stuff like, hey, he can get on our bandwagon. Basically saying, hey, he ain't nothing that we really need for real like that. They were all but saying that. I remember that, and you can look it up. Matter of fact, I remember when LeBron posted up like a reflection of his career, and it was a snippet of his own teammates bad-mouthing him before he got to the team, right? I remember other dudes in the league, older players, that resented him, that like looked at him as the golden boy. They feel like, oh, this is the dude that, you know, the league is wanting to be the next it dude, and they didn't like that. They didn't like the fanfare, the praise that he was getting, because they feel like we've been in the league this long and ain't nobody praising us like that. It was dudes that were feeling like that. You can see it in certain ways that respond to him. Rasheed Wallace and them. A lot of people that just did not have disdain for LeBron. There were reporters who hated LeBron since day one. Skip Bayless, Rob Parker. They never were fans of LeBron James. So I do think everybody, and again, everybody, what they say, that can't be taken seriously when you say everybody, but there were a significant amount of people who did not want to see him win. I can say this. As a young man, I was a Carmelo Anthony fan. I didn't want LeBron to be as great as he was initially because I wanted Carmelo to be that dude. And I was a kid, so, you know, I don't really count. But then when I saw what I saw, I couldn't deny it. The brother was special. I saw what I saw. I said, oh, no, he nice. By that second year, I was full-fledged LeBron as my dude. When I saw what he was able to do against grown men in 2003, in an era where the NBA was physical, defense was played heavily, and I still saw him be able to put up 30, 40, right? I saw him be able to go in and put up 27, 28, get 10 assists. I said, oh, no, this is a different type of 18-year-old. This ain't regular. You know, and I think a lot of other people in the league saw it wasn't regular too. And then, you know, but it was still dudes that was hating on that. It was still dudes that was throwing shots that they didn't like, that he was looked at as the golden boy. Similar to, I remember when Reggie Bush first came into the NFL, there were people that did not like Reggie. Now, Reggie didn't have the same acclaim that LeBron had. LeBron probably was the most hyped high school player I've ever seen in all of college sports. I mean, not all of college sports, in all of sports that I remember. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember too many dudes on the cover of Sports Illustrated at 16 and people talking about him being a chosen one. And you got people that was like, oh, well, some people like, oh, LeBron brought it on himself being hated. They hated him because of him. No, bro. The media, the sports media nicknamed him King James. They always give great players catchy nicknames, and he adopted the moniker. He had the tattoo of the chosen one on the back. Hey, man, you a young kid, man. Like, a lot of people had the chosen one. Like, people, A lot of people had stuff like that when they were young kids. Man, he had that on his back at 18 years old. And by all means, he overachieved. Like than a lot of people ever thought. I don't think people saw him winning 4 championships, 4 league MVPs. Like, I remember he was having interviews where people were telling him, listen, you know, if you're not a Hall of Famer, you're a bust, right? You know, if you're not a Hall of Fame, you don't have a Hall of Fame career, you are considered a bust no matter what, because his height was just so large. Like, people were piling in. They couldn't even play basketball games at St. Vincent St. Mary. They had to have it at the Cavs Arena and stuff like that. Or, I'm sorry, University of Akron. They had to have it at the University of Akron because he was drawing in large crowds, you know? So, man, yeah, I do believe not everybody was hating on him. But, again, his own teammates, for the team that you're going to have people saying we got better players on him than our roster already, which they did not. For your team to say ain't no 18-year-old kid going to come in and be able to do none of that. He can hop on our bandwagon. Ain't no 18-year-old finna be able to come in and just do this, that, and the third. No, for you to have people already publicly doubting you, they can flip it how they want to flip it. Oh, we was trying to cover for him. No, y'all wasn't. Y'all was hating. Y'all didn't like him like that. Y'all didn't like that he was getting praised. Y'all didn't like that an 18-year-old was looked at as the savior of your franchise when you all were grown men on the team and y'all were not getting the job done, you know? So, yeah, it was slight thrown his way. And as I said before, man, people can call Cap if they want to. But when your own team hating on you, then you got reporters who hate you. So this is the thing, too, because people are going to say, well, Kobe didn't get along with his teammates either. Kobe was not as highly touted as LeBron James coming out of high school. It's not even close. Kobe didn't have reporters who did not like him or had disdain towards him coming out, like when he was coming into the league immediately. Skip Bayless, Rob Parker and them was not ever rocking with LeBron James like that. And there was some other reporters as well. And so when you got reporters and your own teammates against you, sometimes they can feel like everybody. Because sometimes people, your sphere of, okay, the fans is one thing, but when your peers are against you, when your peers hating on you, because it wasn't just the Cavs teammates that was hating on him. Again, it was people in the league that did not like him. They did not like the fanfare he was getting. They did not like he was getting praised. And some would say they didn't like that he was getting compared to Michael Jordan. Okay, cool. But it was people that did not like him being looked at as King James and all of that, right? And again, he didn't give himself that moniker. Sports media did when he was in high school as a teenager, and he adopted it. It is what it is, man. But yeah, man. Again, I remember his own teammates going at him. Hold on one second, y'all. I'm looking at something real quick. Yeah, and the league was trying to push him as the next big thing, which he was. And the people in the NBA did not like that. Okay, one second. Yeah, it was people that wanted. It was people that wanted to see him fall right on his face. People probably would have been happy to see him fall on his face because people don't like when your peers don't like when a younger peer who hasn't come in and achieved anything yet is already looked at as a savant, already looked at as being better than you. And nobody had ever seen an athlete get like anointed like that because the people they went to his high school games, you could see LeBron was at a different level. You could see just how advanced he was going back. And people was predicting him to be the best thing they ever saw. And a lot of grown men didn't like that. So yes, it was a lot of people hating on him. A lot of other veterans on other teams, people was trying to prove that they can outdo him. People was trying to prove that he wasn't that good because they took it personal that a young man was getting that type of praise. And yeah, man, so I remember that. But yeah, y'all can go look up the Cleveland Cavaliers video where his own teammates, future teammates was talking about him. And LeBron ended up having to play with them dudes. He played with all them dudes that was talking crazy about him. He ended up having to play with them, right? And to see him be unselfish in that rookie season, it was times he was on break. I remember the first game, he was on the break. Ricky Davis running behind him, threw the ball to Ricky to ingratiate himself to Ricky and all of them, to make them feel like, hey, man, I'm still, yes, I was praised and anointed, but I'm still y'all teammate. I'm still here for y'all, and I'm here to, we all here to uplift each other. I'm not trying to act like I'm better than any of y'all. I'm not trying to steal y'all thunder. I'm just here to try to help us win. And he had to prove that to them dudes because them dudes did not like that. They ain't like the fact that he was getting all that praise. You know what I mean? So it wasn't everybody didn't want to see him fail, but a bunch of people did. A bunch of them did, and if they telling you they didn't, they lying. I remember how them dudes was acting towards him, for sure. And all them dudes like Rasheed Wallace and them, all them, a lot of them dudes had this thing towards him. Darius Miles, all them, and D Miles and them be on knuckleheads. They be they be throwing some little hating shit around too. And him and Quentin Richardson. And Quentin is a Michael Jordan dude, and he from Chicago, my hometown. Chicago motherfuckers be some haters sometimes, for real. This is my hometown, but it be some hating dudes in Chicago too. So yeah, man, that was a thing, man. But so the hate started way before he started considering himself the GOAT, because that didn't happen until after he beat the Golden State Warriors team in 2016. A lot of the hate came when he was still a nice, cool dude that really didn't say too much or nothing outside of what the media, outside of the media interviewing him. The hate came before he stepped foot in the league from a nice amount of people, journalists and NBA players included. Machiavelli Mills TV, I'm out. Peace.